I started this channel back in 2022. So obviously I missed a lot of really big moments in NBA history. 2010 was a really pivotal year for me. I feel like that was the year where I really found my voice in terms of my opinions in sports. That was the end of my junior year going into my senior year because I graduated in 2011. If I had my channel way back then, what would have been some of the biggest NBA moments that I would have loved to discuss? So let's get into it. Now that I'm 32 years old, let's talk about the 5 biggest moments of the last 15 years that I would have loved to do videos on. Without further ado, let's get to the list. At number 5, I would have had to discuss the decision. This was such a huge moment. July 8th, 2010, I will never forget it. I was going into my senior year, and this shook the basketball world up. Kobe had just come off of his 2nd championship in a row, his 5th overall. And now we know the backstory. LeBron and D Wade wanted to team up together to stop Kobe from winning championships. And it worked, but they didn't win 5 or 6 or 7, they won 2. I still hate the decision by LeBron, not that he went to another team, he's allowed to do that, but I felt for the city of Cleveland in this moment. If you were a fan of Cleveland during the decision, I want to know how you felt about this in that moment. Number 4, similarly, when David Stern decided that Chris Paul could not be traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. On paper, this was a really even trade. The Lakers were giving away both Lamar Odom and Pau Gasol. But David Stern ultimately vetoed this trade because he said it wasn't in the best interest of the Hornets at the time. And at that time, the NBA had a controlling interest in the Hornets. But what was really going on, there were owners throughout the NBA that were pressuring David Stern to veto this trade, mainly one Mark Cuban. The fact that this trade got vetoed, but our number 3 overall pick was allowed to happen is absolutely insane. And this is my number 3. It's KD leaving the Thunder and going to the Golden State Warriors. Not just the Golden State Warriors, but the Golden State Warriors team that just had the greatest regular season of all time and lost in Game 7 to the LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The fact that this was allowed to happen still confuses me, which is why I get even more angry when I think of how Chris Paul going to the Lakers was vetoed. The Warriors had 73 wins. They lost in Game 7, and they get the best player in the league at that time, or one of the 3 best players in Kevin Durant. They wound up winning 2 championships, and in my opinion, it was Durant's weakest move of his entire career. He does have 2 Finals MVPs, he has 2 championships, but most people, including myself, look at those a little bit differently than a normal championship. You can't join the best team all time and expect us to, respect that title 100%. Speaking of that Golden State Warriors best regular season of all time, my number 2 on this list is when LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers overcame a 3-1 deficit in the 2016 finals and beat the Golden State Warriors. This was one of the most exciting finals ever. This was the one time I rooted for LeBron James in the finals, besides when he was a member of the Lakers. And this block right here may be a top 5 moment in NBA history. The Warriors were the team that nobody wanted to see win. LeBron James put the entire state of Ohio on his shoulders, overcame the 3-1 deficit, and won that championship. It is to this day one of the most amazing championships in league history and, in my opinion, in sports history. But my number 1 is simple. 2016 was really a pivotal year for the NBA, and in 2016, Kobe Bryant played his final game. I will remember this day like it was yesterday. I was watching it with all of my friends. We were at my friend Travis's house, and when he dropped 60 points and we were all looking around at each other like, what in the hell did we just witness? It was one of the most chilling moments in sports ever. I cried hysterically, like tears of joy, tears of sorrow. I wish I could have live streamed this game and watched it with all of you guys. This game was everything to me. It was a horrible Lakers year, but Kobe is my favorite player. And who would have thought that, 4 years later, Kobe would be taken from us, and this was our lasting image of him. On the court, dropping 60, saying Mamba out. God, this is one of my favorite moments in sports, if not my favorite moment. I wish I could have talked about it at the time.